unleash your creativity with your micro welder. Episode 11.
Today I'm going to make a triple band, a Trinity band that rolls using 18 gauge sterling silver wire. So that's about 1.02 millimeters. And I'm going to wear it in on my middle finger. And I know this is about just over size 7. And I'm going to make it slightly bigger because you need room to be able to roll. I'm going to make it 8.5, size 8.5, and I will put a link to a chart below that has all the sizes and the length that I want. So I'm going to now measure and cut. Just to be on the safe side, I'm going to make it slightly longer, a little bit bigger. So I want, just in case if I have to cut anything extra, I want it to be size 9, even though I'm size 7.5 here. And I'm going to mark it so that I know where to cut. I'm going to make this slightly longer and then make sure that I have trimmed so that both sides are flush. I'll show you. So that it's flat, because you need both sides to be able to touch and weld. Now I'm going to make 3 of these and make sure that they are all identical in length. And what I'm going to do now is first trim it off, and then I make sure that the side that I'm keeping is flush. So be on the generous side and make sure that it's trimmed flush, and then we're going to use a file to file it down later. So I've got these 3, and I want to make sure they're straight and then measured so that they're identical in length. So I'm going to now straighten these wires. You don't want to hit too hard, okay? And you just want to roll as you're hammering. So now it's getting there. So basically what you want to do is roll, but it's hard right now. There, we're getting there. Roll. See how it's all bubbly here when you're rolling? The reason why you don't want to hit it too hard is then you're work hardening it, and it's harder to bend later. So at the beginning, just straighten out as much as you can this way, and you can twirl it with this finger if you need, these fingers. Now we're going to measure to make sure they're all identical in length. Okay, so the best way to do this is check the side is all flush. The other thing is, you might want to, these are really handy metal files, and you hold on to it and go this way, that way, okay? Now, if you don't have this, you can use a very heavy emery board because you're not filing a whole lot. So now that you've done this, you see where some, despite best effort, a bit longer and some are shorter, and you can trim it, use a marker, or in this case, I'm just going to do this. And it's always good to hold it together in bunches because you're not filing. If you're severely right-handed or left-handed, sometimes you compensate, and it's hard to get a very flush edge. So these three are pretty good and identical. So now we are going to bend and weld. Okay, so I've got a ring sizer, and as I've said many times before, these are inexpensive, but if you don't have it, but you know exactly the size, you could use something else to form it. Now, I know it's about 9, so it's easier for me to just do this and that, and then just do the same and bend on a smaller amount, a smaller size, bend it so because it'll form inward, which is good. Same thing with this. Okay. So you want to get to size 9. This. And what's going to happen though is it doesn't close, and all you have to do then is to bend it this way. So like this. You just want to let it meet and bend inward. These two sides must meet like this. So that it will meet like this, and then you weld. Now, about size, I think, a 9. 9's up here. Okay, I cut it a little bit shorter than 9. And going to be good. And you want it, normally you want it this exactly size maximum here, but because these are 3 triple rolling rings, you want it to roll freely. So that's 1, and we're going to do the same for the other 2. If this part is not flush, that means it is like this. You need to make it flush, and if need be, you have to trim a little bit here. And I think that's what's happening here. I'm not so happy about that. I'm going to trim it and use my file. Okay, I filed this a bit. Let's see if you can see this. It's pretty good. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to push, and then bring it back to make sure that it will touch. And I am going to help it along with pliers, holding them close. And this is at 15. Okay. I'm going to show you. I've used argon gas there. There's very little oxidation. And now I'm going to weld the other side so that it'll be good and strong. Okay, perfect. And although I've got argon gas, there's a bit of oxidation, but no worries, we're going to brush that. I'll show you the finished piece. We will be polishing it too. Just want to let you know, this is oval in shape, and that's pretty standard with any sort of soldering as well. Don't worry about it, because what you do, that's what the ring sizers are for. This is fairly soft still, and normally you would have a rubber mallet, or I don't like using my hammer as much, but I'm going to use this because it's just here. My metal hammer might, unless you are able to tap, tap, tap very lightly, it might distort, and I just want it to go like that. And just lightly to coax it. And it is 8.5. Now it's circular. Okay, continuing on. I'm going to do the next one like this. And I'm going to push it so that there is some tension. And again, I don't worry about the shape too much, because I'm going to form it later. The reason why you want to use 2 pairs of pliers is so that it doesn't get too hot on your hands. Very powerful. It's at 15 watts. Okay, so there we got that. I'm going to do the other sides now. Oops. Let me see. Yep. And that's good. Doesn't take a whole lot to clean it. So this is actually also circular. And yes, this part is there. What I'm going to do is here, I'm going to just pinch. I'm just going to pinch down here so as to make it rounder. And now for the last piece. We are going to have our Trinity ring. And I'm going to weld now. So now, since they're these are interlocking, I'm going to do one that takes all 2 of them. And then we're going to okay, there we go. Now I'm going to do 3 sides, 3 points. Okay. Oh, I missed the seam. Perfect. There you go. And we're going to clean that up. And I'm going to file it later, but I just so want to see. There we go. So these roll on and roll off. So this is the weld mark for 18 gauge, and I've set it at 15 watts. If you have these files, they're great. They're inexpensive, and you can polish. If you don't, even heavy emery boards will work. I do like having the inside of rings to be cleaned with this rounded thing. But if not, you can use steel wool if you don't have it. So this one hasn't been cleaned yet with my little brush. And with argon gas, you just need a little bit of brushing. If it is the case that by accident you've had a blob or something, you can flatten out with pliers a little bit. And then just as you would with solder and silversmithing, you clean off the seam so that it's not very noticeable. Let me see if you can see that. Here we go. And it seems as though, even though I am just over size 7, I'm just over size 7 here. When you do a trillium or this Trinity ring rolling 3 triple ring, I made the wire to be, when I cut it, to measure at size 9. And it fits nicely because you need to have a bit of give. So here is the ring I've welded using my Orion micro welder. Seam.
Hope you found that episode to be interesting. And if you did, please like and subscribe and comment below. I'd love to hear from you. And actually, it helps the algorithm. I'm a wholesaler of premium quality chains and findings, as well as micro welders. I'm going to leave a note below, a little bit more information about our company and what you've seen in this video.